let's talk about what the Browns are going to do at pick number 2. That is, I wouldn't say the million-dollar question, but it's the biggest question right now as the draft kind of starts with Cleveland since the worst-kept secret every single year is who's going to get taken number 1. This year it's Cam Ward going to the Tennessee Titans. Now, our friend Schefter has talked at length about what Cleveland is going to do. You go all the way back to the NFL Combine when he said the Browns at number 2 will wind up taking a quarterback because they have to. And I remember filming a video about this in my motel room burglarization in Indianapolis. And I was like, I don't really see eye to eye on this. I think this is just Schefter giving his opinion as to what he would do versus what is actually going to happen. So that was around the Combine. Fast forward a few weeks, and then Schefter revisits the number 2 pick. And he says this. When you talk to people around the league, the sense is Cleveland would like Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward is going to be the number 1 pick, in which case I think Cleveland goes either Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. So that was a few weeks ago, and we obviously ran with this update from Schefter. Let's talk about this for a moment here, Reed, as to what the Browns are going to do, and signs are starting to point towards Abdul Carter. He became the betting favorite. Shedeur Sanders' stock kind of began plummeting for the Browns with number 2. So all eyes were on Carter, and a lot of people were really starting to sink their teeth into Abdul Carter might be a Cleveland Brown. Guilty as charged. Now, we move forward, and all of a sudden, the smoke around Travis Hunter is starting to turn into a little bit of a fire. Here was Schefter on the Pat McAfee show just a few days ago. The latest intel now is that I believe Travis Hunter is the more likely pick at 2 today, a couple of weeks out of the NFL draft for a couple of different reasons. So let me interject here, and I think a lot of people's reaction is, man, Schefter doesn't know anything, right? Doesn't know his butt from his face. How could he get this so wrong to go from quarterback to kind of Carter and Hunter to now it's Travis Hunter? Well, for one, I think the Browns' minds could have changed. I think they've had an update of information where initially they might have wanted Shedeur Sanders, and then leaving the Combine, maybe they didn't want him anymore. So at the time, there's a chance Schefter was not incorrect then, but as the Browns kind of updated their thought process, Schefter updated his. And I think Schefter's very good at his job, so I had no problem kind of leaning towards, hey, if Schefter says this, it has to have a lot of weight behind it. But there is no doubt that the Travis Hunter train is in like full swing right now. Just April 7th, he was minus 135. Keep in mind, a few days before this, Abdul Carter was the favorite to go for the Browns. 2 days later, April 9th, and he's now a bigger favorite to be the first pick for the Browns in the NFL draft. So it feels very confident at this point that Hunter, based on all the smoke from Vegas coming out of his pro day and from Schefter, is going to be the pick for the Browns at number 2. I have just one tiny hiccup, and if Hunter is not the pick at number 2, this will be the thing that we go back to as to why did that not happen? Because the Browns don't really like to tell people what they're going to do. And it does feel a little bit, I wouldn't say fishy, because fishy makes it sound, way too unlikely, but somewhere between unlikely and fishy, that Cleveland would just, we're going to go Travis Hunter. They might very well like him, but I feel that people looked at the Browns visiting Pro Day in Colorado, bringing the whole contingent out there, getting dinner with Travis and Shedeur, and jumping to the conclusion of, oh, that means Cleveland loves Travis Hunter. They may like him, but I do think it's worth just bringing up, is there a chance that they left Boulder and said, man, that was not a good dinner, and they're not talking about the food? We never really entertained that possibility. It's always, well, they met. If they met, then they must love each other. No. Teams meet with a lot of players. They got dinner with Abdul Carter in Pennsylvania. Well, why does it mean that they have to now love Travis Hunter? So that would be my slight pushback, but there is definitely a trend and a full change from Schefter going from Shedeur Sanders to Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter to full-blown consensus, it's Travis Hunter for the Browns at number 2. So now I'll invite you guys to be a part of the show for a moment. Is Hunter going to be the pick? Would you put your money where your mouth is here and say, yep, Travis Hunter, you are a Cleveland Brown? Let me know in the comment section whether or not you think that's going to be the case. Now, Schefter did say that he had a few reasons as to why he believes it will be Hunter, and here are those reasons. I think that going into that day, they viewed him as somebody that could play wide receiver and I think sprinkle in at defensive back, talking about his pro day. And I think he brings them some star power. And there are a lot of people who believe he is the single best player in this draft. Talking about just Hunter in general here, he is a unicorn, and that's not a new opinion or take. The guy plays offense and defense, and at a very high level, he won the Best Receiver Award, the Jim Thorpe Award, the Blindikoff Award, and the Best DB Award with Jim Thorpe. So he is one of one when it comes to his ability to be a high-level receiver and a high-level corner. The only question that remains is, can he play both ways at the NFL? And if he can only play one way over the other, is he worth a number 2 pick as just a receiver or as just a corner? I'm really starting to flip a little bit and change my tune because I want to be optimistic for whatever pick the Browns make. And as long as the signs are pointing towards Hunter, over time, I'm going to start building up reasons in my head as to why I think that's a good pick. I think everyone does that for their team. And when it comes to Hunter, I could really start to see the Browns finding a way to utilize him on offense, which 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, and then finding a way, as Schefter put it, to sprinkle him in on defense. Personally, I think it'd be better to do the opposite. Play him at defense and sprinkle him in on offense. But if the Browns feel that he is going to be like an Odell Beckham Jr. type talent and athleticism at wide receiver, him and Jerry Jeudy would be an incredible combination. So for now, I'm kind of thinking and picturing you play him full-time receiver and you put him out on defense for third downs, obvious passing situations. And as the years progress, hopefully he can, take in more of the playbook on both sides of the ball. And I have no doubt athletically he can keep up the stamina. Although, if you're a little bit winded on defense because you just played a whole offensive series, that could cost the team a touchdown in coverage. Before we talk more about this, I do have to give a quick shout out to our friends over at GameTime. GameTime makes getting tickets even faster and easier. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. So if you want to go to a Guardians game, you want to go to a Cavs game, or a concert, or anything else in your area, I implore you to check out GameTime first. It's an awesome spot for a last-minute tickets kind of place where if you like to live in the moment and not plan too far ahead, GameTime's going to become your best friend. They have the lowest price guarantee, which means they will credit you 110% of the difference if you can find cheaper tickets elsewhere in the same section and row. So do you a favor right now and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All of that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Getting back to Travis, what about the wide receiver and cornerback debate, right? Where should he play? Well, unfortunately, Andrew Berry does not have the greatest wide receiver senses. So if he thinks he's a receiver, someone commented on a video the other day, he's probably a really good corner then, and that made me chuckle. Right now, the Browns receiver room is in a weird spot. Like, Jerry Jeudy just had a breakout campaign. He finished 5th in receiving yards. Tillman showed you a lot of optimism before suffering a season-ending concussion. But after that, there's a big drop-off. I'm not going to try and sell Mike Woods as, a terrific number 3 receiver for a team. He's shown potential at times, but I think I'd be just drinking the Kool-Aid if I was like, yep, this guy's going to be a 500 to 600-yard receiver for a team and 3 to 4 touchdowns. That seems a bit ambitious. So receiver, sure, it could definitely use a little bit of a facelift with Travis Hunter. The DB department is in also a weird spot. It's got 3 competent starters when they look competent. Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, Greg Newsome. Emerson and Newsome coming off really poor campaigns. Ward continued to battle with concussions. It's a tough room to make an honest and accurate assessment on because the last 2 years have shown us you don't really know what you're going to get out of this trio. 2023, they looked unstoppable. I came into 2024 saying that is the best cornerback room in the National Football League. I left 2024 thinking that's one of the worst cornerback rooms in the National Football League. So there's an argument to be made of, hey, Emerson's entering a contract year. Newsome is entering a contract year. Not the worst idea in the world to start getting Hunter involved in the DB section, and he could take over for Emerson or Newsome. So plenty of pros by Tommy Rees and Jim Schwartz to be made for Hunter to be on their half of the ball. And I expect those two to be going at each other's throats during training camp for Hunter to be with the offense or with the defense. And this is just my opinion. Well, it's obviously my opinion, but it's my prediction that it must be easier to play corner and a little receiver than receiver and a little corner. And the fact that he's a better corner, in my opinion, than receiver is just more evidence for why I believe he should play corner. And then you sprinkle in 10 to 15 plays on offense, right? 3rd and goal from the 5, get him involved there. 3rd and 12 from your own 20 with 2 minutes to go, get him involved there. Give him a breather on 1st and 10 when you're going to run the ball so he doesn't have to go out there and do some run blocking since he just played a whole defensive series. And as the year and, his career progresses, he could put more on his plate. But this is just truly uncharted waters. No one has been this serious about playing both ways before. I mean, there's been examples of guys who did it in college a little bit, but never to the extent of Hunter. So I don't think there is a blueprint out there for how to handle this. I think it's a little bit of a trial and error. Learn as we move along. And that could result in now the Browns looking at him as a receiver, and in October, looking at him as a corner. Time will tell. Before we sign off, one quick reminder to subscribe to the channel. We're going to be live for the NFL draft, and so if you don't want to have to watch a whole bunch of commercials on TV, and you want to get the picks as soon as they are announced and not wait for Roger to march his ass to the podium, then make sure you subscribe to the channel for the best free analysis out there. Let's pick a card to wrap up today's episode. Reed, which card are you thinking?
Let's just go straight up. Ace of Spades.
You weren't going to let me fade you this time.
Nope.
Damn it. I wanted the spite pick. I'm going to go.
How about you go Ace of Spades?
Should we do it together?
Come on.
All right.
Ace of Spades is the only one I think we can go
This is
together.
like a video you watch on Facebook where the whole bachelor party puts it all on black or something.
Yes.
And there's a million different types of those videos, and every single time I watch the whole thing.
Come on.
All right.
Come on, Ace of Spades.
I'm with you. Ace of Spades. Here we go.
This could be first time ever.
Jack of clubs.
No!
What was the next one? All right. Thank you all so much for watching and hanging out with us today. Like I said, click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I'll see you next time.